Everybody, welcome back to another episode of FSi DFS Fantasy NASCAR Picks. I'm your Smegro 31. Still getting over a little cold, so I'll make this kind of quick. We have the Martinsville race here. It's going to be another night race, like truck race was last night, which was pretty cool. But with the temperatures, there wasn't a lot of tire fall off. I believe the winner made it on like a one pit stop race. So this race is a little bit longer, 250 laps, and they'll probably have to do a couple, but definitely be able to take some chances with some tire strategies and stuff. Tend to be, some cautions here as the shorter track and guys run into each other and their drivers run into each other and spin each other out and things like that. So lots of dominators here, opportunities. Probably look at 2 to 3. Last night we saw like pretty much the two pole sitters kind of exchange it between Eckes and Majeski, and a couple other people mixed in between, and we'll see what we got from there. So we'll start at the top. Brandon Jones got the pole. He's been okay here. But the problem is they got a cracked brake rotor, and they were going to replace it, which means that he'll have to start at the back of the field. And then there's another video that said they might take their chances. So I don't know what's going to happen here, but either way, I don't like it. So I'm probably going to fade Brandon Jones. If you want to play him in GPP, I completely understand. If he starts on the pole, but if that thing like heats up and blows up, then he's done. You lose a ton of place differential points there. I don't think it's worth the upside. I just, it'd be nice if it's definitive, if they come out and say yes, and then you have to start in the back of the field, so they have to crawl through the whole field. Still scored at first. It's a very dangerous, and I don't think he has that strong of a car, even though he got the pole, to be able to go out there and just like smoke the field and get up there. Through different like pit strategies and stuff. Could they get back up there? Yes. But I just don't have a really good feeling of it, so I'm out. So that pretty much, if that's the scenario, means that Cole Custer and Sheldon Creed will be the two on the pole, and that's where you want to start to build your lineups. You want to pick which one. Cole Custer has not been great here. Stuart Haas has been okay on short flat tracks, but I just haven't seen Custer like have a super dominant car. He does what he needs to do with the setups and equipment that he has. He's a very good driver, probably a cup caliber driver, will be back up there eventually, and did win the championship last year, but he did it by, you know, um, checking all the boxes and not being like an absolutely dominating race car driver. Sheldon Creed is super aggressive, and these Joe Gibbs Fords have been very fast all year long. So I can definitely see him getting out and leading early. So I think that he would be my favorite like dominator to begin the race. Jeb Burton starting up here. I cannot see him staying up in the top 10, even though Jordan Anderson has shown out pretty well here. I believe Parker Retzlaff had the pole in the fall, and they have shown some speed here, but I just can't see Jeb Burton like hanging up here with all these other drivers. So going to be fade for me. Allgaier, I think, especially starting behind like probably in the fourth position, being able to go at Burton might be able to get his way up to the lead pretty quickly. So, and I think he'll be very popular also. Eric Almirola has been solid on short flat tracks. He's in a Joe Gibbs car. He's a former Cup driver and looked pretty good last week. And you see this all the time. If you look at my screen, the green drivers are ones that are racing year round, and they are racing for stage points and for the championship. The ones that are beige or tan or skin color, whatever you want to call it there, like Almirola, are just racing purely to win. So they can pit before the end of a stage, get track position when all the other people that are racing pit at the stage break, stay out there and be able to usually hold that track position and just race for wins. They don't have to race for stage points, and it really does make a difference. So that's why I think, Creed, I think, is my favorite early dominator, and I think Allgaier, Almirola have a really good chance to be up there and dominate also. So really like those three as dominators. It is possible to put all three of them in a lineup because there are some really good value plays. So you can do that. Alfredo and Sieg, I think, qualified way too far. I mean, it's one thing to have a fast car in qualifying, but to be able in traffic to be able to stay up there with like the bumping and banging, and I don't think they have the cars to do it. So they're going to be fades for me. Mayer has had a bad season. He I thought about putting him as upside dominator, especially when Jones going down, but and Junior Motorsports has been good at this track. So I still have a GPP. Borderline upside dominator, but I don't think he gets out there and dominates stuff. If he does, would it surprise me? Maybe a little, but not really. Um, but I'll take my chance and just play him GPP and not as an upside dominator. Austin Hill, could have a top five car here. I don't see him getting out and leading this race. Just really hasn't done that much at Martinsville. Like he's been good, but not great. So a GPP also. Again, the same thing as Mayer. Would it surprise me if got up there and led for a little bit? A little, but like not really. So but Jesse Love is one that probably wouldn't surprise me as much, just because he's been good, and I think they made the right move getting rid of Creed and putting him here. He definitely has had a learning curve. It hasn't been like a steep learning curve. I mean, there have been bumps along the way, but I think he gets it. I think he's going to be he's very good in ARCA. He's going to be a future star here. And I love him paired with Hill on this team and Childress. And I think there's a lot of upside. And I think that he's one that could potentially use his bumper and move people out of the way and maybe rub them the wrong way and get turned towards the end. But I think in GPP that I like him as potential dominator also. Carson Quaffle. He is the son of Truck Series legend Travis, right? And there's this thing called the Virginia Triple Crown, where they race what was it? What are they, like late model cars or something? Yeah, late models. So he he's raced in on this track quite a few times, and that they have three races, like one's in like Weston, Virginia or something. I think one's a road course, and then I think the finals usually at Martinsville. And so he's got experience here at this track and has done really well in that series and his upcoming star. His brother's also racing in it too. And Corey Himes raced in this. Josh Berry actually raced in this, I think in like 2019. And then in one of his first Martinsville races did really well. Did he win that one? Can't remember. I'll have to look into that. But so I don't think we can, and he's in a JR Motorsports car too. So he's not in like a garbage ride. It's not like he jumped into a JD Motorsports or an SS Greenlight ride. He's in the JR Motorsports. So it should, in the family has money. So I'm sure this is quite an investment. So I think he'll be low owned because people don't really recognize him, but I think he's a great GPP play. Parker Retzloff, like I said, did really well here in the fall race. And I think that Jordan Anderson, like he could potentially be an upside dominator and get up there. It wouldn't surprise me. And Matt DiBenedetto, former Cup driver, who always drove really well here. Uh, this 38C car is not one of the best in the group, but it's not one of the worst in the group. So I think that, Matt DiBenedetto coming back and having 1 week under his belt here with this team if he stays here, I think that he's one to watch to have some more success than he did in the Truck Series with Rackley. I think Sieg is definitely a more established team than Rackley was. They have more resources. So I definitely look forward to Matt DiBenedetto hopefully reigniting his career and having success here and maybe get another opportunity up in the Cup Series. So I like them. AJ Allmendinger down here, a colleague, just I think they're spread too thin. They just between Cup and here, they just haven't been as dominant. But AJ's a good road course driver, and some of those principles come into factor in Martinsville and short track. So I like him to be able to break and get around drivers and stuff like that. So I think he definitely has some place differential, can get up into the top five, or not five, top 10 at least. And Taylor Gray looked really good in his debut in this Joe Gibbs. He looked good last night on in the Truck Series. Was up there in like the top five. Did quite well. So I think that he and Heim are going to are like two like ones to watch like from the Truck Series that are going to graduate up into the series and to be also future stars to watch. So I like Gray here also. Sammy Smith, I think is going to be very popular. He did really well here. Previously, he's been up there leading. The only thing that's different is that he was in a Gibb car before. Now he's in the JR Motorsports car. So I think he's another one that can get up there and dominate. Um, and I think he's got the team and everything to do it. And I think they'll strategy wise, he'll try to figure out so he can. So He's another like sneaky. I think I like him more as a cash dominator than an upside dominator. So, and I think he could be quite popular here also. Parker Klingerman, Big Red Machine, has always run well at Martinsville here. Klingerman's a great driver too. Another good road course guy where the principals might transfer over. So I like him in cash. Shane Van Ginsbergen, let me say it wrong, I'm sorry. Shane Van Gisbergen is another road course guy, but he's still getting used to his Xfinity. He's doing well here, but I like him as GPP. I like these other guys that have more experience on the track and with the cars and like different other like with truck series more than him at this point, but he's definitely coming along. So GPP and with some upside there. Corey Heim, like I said, lots of experience here through the Virginia Triple Crown. I ran the truck race, did really well last night. Also, his he won the race even though his rain shortened in the truck race in the fall. As Sam Hunt is a great team here. It's just step below the rest of the uh, Joe Gibbs Toyotas, like the Toyota Racing Development puts together really good teams and things, and I think he's definitely investing in him as a future star. So I like him here, and there's definitely some place differential. He should have a solid day. And then Jeremy Clements has always been solid, also as like a single car. Usually, finishes in the top 20. And so, if he holds his own at 6,400, that's a good price for him. And then Riley Herbst here has been pretty solid. And Stuart House, like I said, it has been had a good program on short flat tracks. And I think he's definitely not a 22 place car. Should be able to get up in the top 15 and get some place differential for you. So I like that. And then Josh Williams, like I said, he said he's really looking forward to the last couple of races on these short tracks. These are his bread and butter. And again, colleague hasn't been super dominant, but it's much better equipment than he's ever driven here, and he's done well here. So I think he can also get into the top 20, and that's pretty good at 7,100. So one thing I want to do before I go much further, and let's talk about a couple things here, is there is like a range here. If we just quickly sort it by price. If you take out Brandon Jones here, and like I said, Quaffle definitely has upside to potentially win. He's just going for a win here. That there is a range right here. If you want to do like GPPs and do like 20 maxes, if you just use these drivers, there is such a solid like balance range here that you could use. Could really work out for you really well, and then maybe sprinkle in some of the dominators up here. But these are ones that I really like. And the other thing too is, as we look at it here, is if you are trying to get up in this range and you want to do this and you don't want to play Herps as a prime, I'm fine if you drop down to Klingerman. Like Klingerman or Heim, these two could replace Herbst if you can't, if this price point at 9,000 is too prohibitive for you to get in what you want to try to get some of the ones up here that drop down and make either Heim or Klingerman. I debated between these three drivers. I like Herbst the best, just with his experience and place differential. And I think with point per dollar, he might come out the best. But I think it's close enough with Heim and Klingerman that you can definitely do that. So let's go back to the rest of the field here. So Brandon Poole, like him, started a little bit too far forward. These Alpha Prime cars didn't look great last week on the short track. So a little bit off them. GPP, a little bit expensive. If they're like down more in the 5K range, I'd be a little bit better with it. Honeyman has had a great, and can't remember if he has some experience in this in the Virginia Triple Crown or not. I don't think so. But this young car's been solid. He's been a solid driver. 25th a little far forward for me, but if he could just hold it right there, even if he loses a few spots, I think he'll be fine at 48, one of the cheapest drivers on the board. But it really helps you get what you need to get. So I think he's solid in play there. Power Weatherman, again, a little bit more expensive. I could drop down a little bit more and get a better driver starting a little bit further back. Not a little bit better, but a similar driver in a better situation. So Haley Deegan, still learning curve in Xfinity, hasn't been great. I just haven't GPP, but Could have a solid day, couldn't boom or bust. I can't really say there's floor there. Kyle Sieg struggled here. Can't really do that. Ryan Ellis, another Alpha Prime car, $700 cheaper than Pool. That's where I kind of wish Pool is priced, but again, just not seeing the speed and stuff. I think is going to fall back. Hopefully, stay on the lead lap, but I don't can't guarantee it. So GPP for me. Blaine Perkins, love this play. He smashed here a couple times in like bad equipment, and he's in a Sieg for, which again, it's like a mid tier one, but a solid mid tier one. Really love it. Love the upside. And I think that definitely, he's got a lot of experience at this track and love it as a prime play. 5,200, I think it's one of the best point per dollar plays down in this lower range. Smithley jumped in last week and under no notice when Logan Bearden had like he bearded. He was supposed to race, but I don't know if he had like his child was born or a family emergency, something like that was going on. But Smithley jumped in and did well. He's in a JD car. The JD cars were actually pretty solid last couple of weeks. So I think you can consider it as a GPP if I'd rather take Perkins for $300 less. But if you're like doing like 20 max and throwing some punts in, I don't hate it. Boston Cram, I was like hating on him last week, but like he hasn't been bad, and this JD team wasn't, and he actually had a respectable run. So 45, cheapest guy on the board, why not? I think you could throw that dart in there too. Dexter Beans, a no. EGM, I worry about that. It's not going to be a starting part, but I don't know if he can stay on the lead lap. These two ones are solid also. Myatt Snyder is, and this SS Greenlight Racing has also been more solid than I thought it has been recently for a lower level team. Like I think they and JD are kind of getting up to the top of the lower level as like acceptable punt plays. So I like both of these plays, and they really help open up. I think they're very solid, great place differential at 34th and 35th. Um, I think that they're really good plays there for you. Uh, you're into, he's road course guy. So again, some of those principles translate. And Myatt Snyder has come in and raced really well in spot starts before, and he's running the series. He's got experience here. Like I think he used to be on like JD Motor or JR Motorsports. So like he's had some really good rides. So, I think even though it's like not as good equipment, like I don't think he's going to finish in the 30s. He can probably get up into like the 20s, like maybe 10th place differential points. So I really like that 56, great price. I'm definitely out on the Emerald Gase cars. They are not great equipment, so fade both of them. I think one of them was again a wreck, so it's like a backup car still last week. So and like I think Gase like flopped. He was in the 35 and now he's in 50. So it's just a mess. Not touching them. But Chandler Smith has dominated this track before. He's in one of the fastest Joe Gibbs cars. They had an issue they couldn't practice or qualify. So he's got to start in the back here, but he should be out there and ready to dominate. Just fly up through this field. The car should be perfectly fine. Absolute lock. And you can still play Chandler Smith and two of the upside um, dominators and still have enough money to even like with some of these like cheap guys like with Honeyman opens up, like you might even be able to get uh, s- three or four with like all this great value that's down at the bottom here um, of these dominator plays. Well, no, you can't because there's 83s out. So, I had one build before I realized Brandon Jones where I had like one, two, and three and Smith and then some value plays, but that's not gonna work anymore. So you're not gonna have enough salary, but you should be able to get like two up here, one solid one here, get Chandler Smith in, throw some values in, and like your lineups. So lots of great ways to go. So, anyways, I'm gonna hop off here so I can get this uploaded. Remember, it's a night race, so you should have plenty of time to watch this and to ask questions or whatever. So, if you have any questions, put them in the chat below. Hit me up at MegaRoar31 on Twitter, formerly or X, formerly Twitter. You know what I'm talking about. And if you want more information on FSi DFS, go to the description of the video, and in there you can get into our Discord, or not their Discord. You can go to our website. We actually have a brand new Discord, so it's going pretty well. Some exciting new features in there, and it's $3 a day, $5 for the weekend. if you sign up now, it's actually a physical week, so it should take you through like next Saturday. So, um, so you'll get multiple races for that. And again, if these videos help you, like the video, subscribe to our channel, and share with friends. So thanks for watching. Have the Cup video tonight. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you next time.